Hey Dale,
What's up, Andy?
how does a fight start?
Oh, usually over money. Over time, it's been over money and over women as well. A lot of different reasons. Video games, stealing stars.
Taking away opportunities?
That's a good one too. Yeah,
And
but
that's
that
why we're
just
here.
yeah, and that's why the animosity begins inside a lot of these jobs and workplaces.
Mm,
I think I know where you're going.
I am. It's Royal Rumble season, baby.
Oh, fire! What's your Royal Rumble tradition?
um, I just like watching it, mate. I watch it normally. Go around with the guys with Ty and Nick, and I'll go and watch it with them. Ashton doesn't, me lad, doesn't stay up for them because obviously he's only young, but he always stays up for the Rumble, always.
It gets to adults only, and then you have to let the kids in, and then
Mm,
then when it's a potty break when, let's say, in 1994 or five, Well Done comes out.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. But no, I've always stayed up for the Rumble. I always used to stay up for the Big Four, but I'd say outside the WrestleMania, Royal Rumble's my favorite.
Spot on, my friend. And we're here today to talk about the best feuds that originated from the Royal Rumble match. Yes, there may have been a little bit of tension or nuances that we talked about or that we've seen in the past that have been brought up prior to the event itself. But in this particular case, we're talking about the forefront of an actual feud that starts and is in, trying to look at a term for inception. The inception of a feud begins there. So let's start it off with a bang. We're going to go back to just 2003 when I was graduating high school, but I remember this vividly because these guys would have encounters over and over again, Andy. And that's Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, going up against Y2J, Chris Jericho, inside the the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely awesome, mate. These two had some fantastic feuds over the time. I never really got bored of seeing the two of them, which is just a testament because sometimes they burn the candle a little bit more. But yeah, it all started here, didn't it?
Wasn't this the one where Jericho wasn't in the ring yet and Christian posed on the stage as number two to come in?
Yeah, yeah,
And then Jericho sandbagged, or the OSW boys say Pearl Harbored HBK from behind, and then Jericho ended up tossing him over. That's
yeah.
just well
Hits him with a
done.
dick shot as well.
Yeah, it was, geez, well done right there. And I think shortly after, Chris Nowinski, our favorite concussion analyst, came into the match. Just
Ah,
wonderful stuff.
yeah.
And let's not forget here, too, that Michaels wasn't sitting in the match for a long time at that point. He got booted right out. And
Mm,
nobody saw that coming, too, especially him coming in at number one. In his past, he's been at number one, and he was the first guy to win at number one. Now it's just, it's still something special.
yeah.
Gunther should have won it last year.
Aye. Well, we'll move on to another feud then. So, a little bit of modern day one for you. Edge and Randy Orton 2020.
I'd agree with that.
Hmm.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Edge made his grand return. It was just before the pandemic. Um, Obviously, rated RKO. There was a lot of story there. And then Edge lashed out Randy, which started their feud.
Yeah. And then it became one of those matches where it was this was a standing room only. I call him that because the winner has to stand. Was it last man?
Mm.
And is that when Randy fell off the truck?
I think so, yeah. And then they had the greatest wrestling match ever.
Okay. How do you advertise that without guaranteeing that?
I know, I know. Unbelievable. But it's
I don't
WWE, they can
remember
do
it.
what they want.
But I don't remember it. If it's the
No.
greatest match in the world or the greatest match, it's a bad tagline anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, Jericho faced Guevara a few pay-per-views ago, which makes sense. But Guevara ended up wearing the old Jericho trunks from that WrestleMania in
Mm.
2003. So it was a nice callback. That's the extent of what I care about with Sammy Guevara. But
Yeah.
anywho, like you said, I think that Edge is some guy that I think when he came back in 19 or 2020, when he came back, everybody realized this guy is so great. Even with being out of the ring for like 10 years, I think everybody realized that we should really, not to put him on there, but he's up there as far as a candidate goes for a Mount Rushmore. You only
Yeah,
got 4 spots. I
yeah.
get that. You're eliminating a lot of people, but you could make the statement of him being that good on the plateau there. And
Okay,
if
but
you,
let's go right back on Ramp Rushmore now. Hogan and Savage. Now back then there was no WrestleMania title shot that was part of this thing, and Hogan and Savage had the match. Within the match, and Hogan turned on Savage, which subtly started the whole Mega Power breakup. So
yeah,
realistically, Hogan did end up getting the first title shot at WrestleMania, even though he didn't win it by throwing out Savage. That's what started their feud, which led to the Mega Powers implosion, should we say?
yeah, I fully agree with that too. I think when you look at the grand scheme of Hogan, and Hogan always trying to make people, and people say he buries people, I'm going to name that one the Macho Man start of a feud inside that Royal Rumble. That's a key point right there, because nobody wants to see best friends getting to fisticuffs, especially when it's involving a woman at that point too. So that's one
Mm,
thing. Then you're also talking about years afterwards. Now, people always say Hogan liked to bury people, and he did so. But then we look at another one where it was a fan favorite, somebody that was skyrocketing through the rankings, and that was Warrior. The key part in this one is that these guys never had any interactions. This was just a far gone conclusion that when these guys meet up, somehow the roof's going to blow off. And that's
mm,
exactly what happened. And I think when you look at that Royal Rumble, and Schiavone, Tony Schiavone, who was at the commentary booth for this, was talking about, he the good thing about Schiavone is that he had the magnitude of letting the people speak more and bringing the attention to the people. Not saying
mm.
this place has gone bananas, but man, when you see Hogan and Warrior turn and face each other, do you remember that pop?
I remember. Unbelievable. And that's the thing. The good thing about a Royal Rumble match is probably what we're trying to highlight here is you don't have to be the winner of the Rumble to start the road to WrestleMania is probably the best way to say it, isn't it?
Yeah, I fully agree. But it's so cool because of the what ifs too. And
Mm,
yeah, we could
mm,
talk about even some feuds ending a little bit. 2008, Jimmy Snuka enters the Royal Rumble, and right after that, there's Piper. Being in attendance for that, I marked the hell out because I've never saw
mm.
Piper up close, and there it was. And that was the coconut right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Going
I
back
think
to Hogan though,
yeah.
going back to Hogan though, there was one other guy, and we talk about, and it's my favorite Royal Rumble '92, and that's Sid
Mm,
Justice throwing him over.
yeah. Yeah, really good one. Really good one. And obviously that set them up. I mean, they didn't have it. Did they have it? Yeah, it was WrestleMania 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Had
when
the main.
Shango was. I think
Yeah,
Shango was taking a dump and missed his cue.
yeah, yeah. So, that was obviously another one that put them there. Bit modern day stuff, obviously. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. That was one.
Yeah, I mean,
Started in the Rumble.
yeah, I mean, but we wish it ended about 20 some odd years ago too.
I mean, the one thing that frustrates me with that is as we say, there's a lot of possibilities for the Rumble. That can be created within the Rumble match. Last year we had Brock Lesnar and Gunther had a bit of a standoff, and we
Was
never
it
got anything
Lesnar?
from it.
Lesnar and Gunther?
Yeah, yeah,
That's true. I forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
And then even in that same match, we had something that led to a one match deal, but it lit the house on fire. And we're talking about Logan Paul and Ricochet.
yeah.
People could say what they want about Logan Paul. This guy's bringing it every single match. Has he disappointed? Not at all. And Ricochet, when he's facing a guy like that, he elevates his competition too,
Mm,
all the time.
yeah,
People could say Ricochet has done whatever he does as far as flippy goes. Guy could go, dude. It was
yeah.
awesome. I
Mm,
think we saved the best one for last, and we got to wrap it around with the bow tie, right? And we're talking about probably, in my opinion, the greatest WrestleMania match to ever come from a Royal Rumble match itself. And that is Mr. WrestleMania again against Kurt Angle.
yeah, yeah. Well, you always knew
Do you
them two
remember
were
the
going to have a
build?
boss match, weren't they?
Yep. And here's the other thing. You know it's
Sexy
fantastic when you
Kurt.
remember he makes your ankle hurt. Yo, and he went through, he made Janetti tap out. He made Sherry tap out. The build was just incredible. Sean dresses up as a cameraman or a security guard behind Kurt, beats him up on SmackDown.
hmm
And then the match speaks for itself. It's a thing of beauty. And no matter what anybody's rating on it was, it's probably one of the top 5 matches of both those guys' careers.
Yeah.
And I think both of them will tell you that the same way. I
Oh,
mean,
Hundo.
and here's the other thing. Everything that they said in it was true. The stars aligned, and we're talking about Kurt Angle sitting there going, 96, I won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. And everybody else is talking about some guy flying from the rafters, going to the ring, winning his WrestleMania match.
Mm.
He's not wrong.
No, no. And that's the thing. That was really, it got personal, didn't it? And it was really well done. Right, guys. So that is our list of feuds that started the Rumble by not being winners. Let us know in the comments if there's any that we've missed out, and also let us know any that you feel that could start in this year's Rumble. Be interested to see. But from me, Andy, we shall see you
ND.
again. Andy, Dale, I'm trying it out.
ND. That's good.
See?
All right. E and
Mm,
D into D.
yeah, yeah.
Double D.
Ah, well. Right, guys, take care, and we'll see you next time.